Buongiorno, everyone. Welcome to the Magpie Channel TV. It is a good morning as well, actually. Buongiorno, good morning. First time that's ever actually made sense because it's only 11:15, but it's an early start. Busy day for both of us. I'm joined by Liverpool fan, Liverpool legend. I'm going to put it out there, mate. There you go.
Oh, mate, Jesus.
AGT from the Kop TV. Make sure you check out the Kop TV. I'll put that in the description as well. How we doing, mate? Are you excited? You looking forward to
I'm good, man.
Wednesday night?
I am. Always looking forward to an away trip at Newcastle. Would love to have actually been there with the Kop TV. I'm very lucky. Well, before COVID, anyway, I was at every single game, home and away. So it's a shame that we couldn't get up to St James's this season. But I am looking forward to it. I do think this is a game that we have to win. So the pressure's kind of on us, really, to perform. But yeah, I'm very well, brother. It's been a while. I hope you're well too, man.
Yeah, it's been a while, mate. I mean, you've been living the luxury life this year, traveling around, doing up Tenerife, chilling with Big Naughty, now being stuck in the mum's house.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very lucky to have some family in Tenerife. So me and my missus woke up one morning in November and we were like, let's get out of here, by the way. Do you know what I mean? This is a shithole. So we stayed out there for a month. I mean, I was working every day, man. So I quite enjoyed massively enjoyed the challenge of waking up with a beach and a pool every day, but actually getting the work done as well. So it was very much a valuable trip. And mate, I'll definitely be back out there. I think that's just going to be my comfort holiday now. And I speak Spanish as well, so it makes, whenever I go there, I mean, everyone speaks English there anyway, but it's nice to chuck them a bit of Spanish first. But listen, when I'm out there next year, you'll have to come out, watch a game. If we can get back to the stadium, then I'll see you there, obviously. But yeah, man, I'd love to see you out in Tenerife.
Oh, mate, it'd be class to go out in Tenerife, like, especially to go watch a game. To go watch a game together with mint. You with the locals of the Spanish outside the Atletico Madrid stadium. I've seen it.
Yeah. It's been. Do you know what? It's been so challenging for everyone this year, but I've kind of just managed to kind of, have a few highlights in there. So I am happy with how the year's gone. But obviously next year, bigger and better for you and me, for Liverpool and Newcastle. 2021's the year, brother. Hopefully, anyway.
Hopefully, mate. You've had a very good 2020 though, unlike Newcastle fans would say, I'd imagine. Finally clinching that Premier League trophy. How are you feeling building up that? Because obviously loads of people were starting to take the piss a little bit, saying, "Oh, just cancel the season, don't give it to Liverpool." Did that ever enter your head, or was there any worry that was going to happen?
The only thing is, it could only have happened to Liverpool. Like, everyone thinks and we have been lucky to win it. We have got a road our luck a lot of times, but trust me, bro, if there was one team that hadn't won the league for 30 years and then a worldwide pandemic is the only thing that could possibly derail your title challenge, it's only us that is happening to. Trust me. So, I mean, listen, we started off the year really well, and then when we lost to Watford away, I think we've only won, I think it's 4 away games out of 11 since then. So away games, I mean, I say that we just beat Palace 7-0, but away games are a lot tougher for us than the home games. There's no doubt about that. But 2020 in general, obviously it's been the year we won the league. Definitely not the way that we would have wanted to win it. Obviously, we wanted to be in the stadium. I was outside Anfield the night we beat Chelsea and lifted the trophy. That was special. I'll never forget that. But you just don't know, man. If this fucking pandemic didn't happen this year, things could have been so different. But hey, listen, we're still lucky that we've won it, and hopefully we can clinch it again 2 years in a row, man.
Hopefully, mate, because like you say, a big part of it is being there in it with the players, celebrating. I mean, as a Newcastle fan, I haven't even seen that for a fucking League Cup. So it would be nice in our lifetime to experience that. But the whole parade,
I hope you do as well.
Oh mate, hopefully, because you'll be straight up here at Sound Jacks, won't you?
Oh mate, yeah, trust me. Doing the away, I'm mad how I haven't been to Newcastle since 2010, bro. That was 10 years ago. That is mental. That is mental. Oh mate, honestly, what a place though. What a fucking place.
There's a pessimistic Newcastle. See, everyone. I've just been on AGT's channel, the Kop TV. So go ahead and check that preview out as well. And everyone's like, "Oh, pessimistic here, negative." Look at everyone knows, right? These are Newcastle fans. We watch this shit every week in, week out. this is why. But then you've got a Liverpool fan here saying you're not going to smash her. So how do you see it going? Do you think you will smash her? Is it going to be a comfortable night, or are you just bothered about getting the 3 points and getting out of there?
We just got to get the 3 points and get out of there. I'd take a last-minute winner, which we did. Is it the last 2 seasons we've done that?
It was the 3-2 when Rafa was still the RI.
That was it, when Origi scored. What was the score last year? I'm trying to remember now.
4-1, I think 3-1 or 4-1 after lockdown when Gale took the lead after 20 seconds.
That was it. Origi scored in that game too, I think. It's a tough one to predict. I think, like I said on my channel, brother, if we've failed like we did so miserably against West Bromwich Albion, then the pressure is firmly on us to come and not only win this game, but actually win it quite convincingly. Liverpool, really, when the pressure is on, normally we do come through. But I think the injuries that we've had, and you're no different, bro. You've had some shocking injuries this season. But I think when Matip went off, things were quite well against West Brom. We were 1-0 up, 55 minutes in. Matip gets an injury, and all of a sudden, the game just tilts like this. And I can see that happening, actually. If we don't start well, I can see Newcastle kind of just pretty similar to what West Brom did, just putting 10 behind the ball, making it really, really difficult for us. Like we said, you've got a great goalie, you've got 2 great goalies, and you do have an experienced defence, maybe not the best, but definitely experienced. So if Newcastle can maybe get through the first half, no goals conceded, then who knows how the second half will end up. I mean, Liverpool this season traditionally have scored a lot in the second half, so I'm hoping we can win. Obviously, I want us to start pulling away a little bit. We've drawn at Brighton, Fulham, at home to West Brom. These are all teams fighting relegation. And if we'd have won all those games, genuinely, bro, we'd probably be about 10 to 15 points clear now. We're not, so we're gonna have to find those points from somewhere. I'm just hoping Thiago can play, even if it's half an hour. I'd love to see him come on the pitch. I think you said on my preview that this is the kind of game where Thiago could run riot. So I think let's chuck him in. He's obviously had enough training now. He's been away for 2.5 months. I'm saying get him straight in the team. If he's not going to be ready now, when is he ever going to be ready? So tough one, but I think Liverpool edge it.
I think Thiago said on your channel, you'll have an easy game to bet yourself into. You won't be any pressure. Everyone will know on this channel how much I rant about Newcastle's lack of intensity, graft, pressure that they put on opponents. So he'll be able to dictate the play if he starts. But what worries me is, I mean, the confidence comes from, if we're going to take any, would be like you just said there, away draws against struggling teams. Yeah. As obviously your home record's been impeccable, but away from home, you have got draws where you'd expect you to comfortably win. That's the only thing we can aim for. Just try and copy Fulham's game plan from the other week, what Parker did, what that Bruce can do. But for me, the fear is just the front three. It's got to be for Liverpool, and it always, and like you said, even Origi, who doesn't start games the majority of the time, he loves a goal at St James's Park, so that's not a good omen for us either.
Yeah, Origi been shocking for us this season. I can't lie to you. I think the last 2 games that he played well for Liverpool were both against Newcastle. The front three, I think when you look back to 16-17 season, Firmino's there, Mane's there, and then Salah gets added in 2017. And I would say from 2017 to today, I'd say that's probably been the most consistent front three. I mean, obviously MSN came in, Kane and Son are doing well now, but we've pretty much had the same strikers, bro, for 3 years now. And the consistency that we've seen is unbelievable. I think Mane just overtook Suarez's goals for Liverpool the other day. Salah's out in front, just a joke how many goals he scores for Liverpool. And Firmino, Bobby, the main man, I absolutely love Bobby. You can see that in recent weeks, he's coming back into form now. Scored the winner at Tottenham, scored 2 against Palace. And I think Bobby is the thread that really does link them both together. And obviously Jota was playing so well. For him to go out injured, it was almost as if we said to Bobby, right, you're going to have to play again now and you better play well. And he is. So when Jota comes back, that's even more firepower. But to be honest, bro, I can never complain with those guys up front. I mean, there has been times when Jota's come in for Firmino, but when Klopp puts out Firmino, Mane, Salah, how can you really complain about that? From a Liverpool fan's perspective anyway, it's genuinely, at least one of them gets a goal every game. So yeah, hoping for more of the same. And I'd love to see us really convincing first half performance rather than have to leave it late. So the front three, they'll always score.
Is this the best Liverpool side you've ever seen in your lifetime? Then,
Oh,
because
without question.
we mentioned the front three there. I mean, you've got to you look through this Liverpool side when fully fit. You've got to put the majority of them in, haven't you? I mean, I used to love like Fernando Torres at Liverpool. He was unreal. Xabi Alonso. He used to love a goal against us as well. Actually, Xabi
He
Alonso.
did, yeah.
Pepe Reina when he was going. So there's some big players there, but it's got to be, hasn't it? It must be an unreal time to be a Liverpool fan right now.
In the grand scheme of things, yes, it is. But because we've set our expectations so high now, when you draw away to Fulham, it almost feels like the club's in crisis. I suppose that's a good thing because we're now used to being. I mean, we're the top at Christmas for the last 3 years in a row, which is a Premier League record. Which, if you stood away and looked at that, you'd think, how can you ever complain as a Liverpool fan? But trust me, it still happens. It's only because we've got such a high standard. But going back to your point there about is this the best team? I mean, I was born in '94, right? So let's just discount '94 to 2000. They were very inconsistent. 2001, rest in peace to Gerard Houllier. He's the man that really put us back on the European map. And that definitely wasn't the best team at all. You had the likes of Carragher, Gerrard coming through, Owen, Fowler, Heskey, who I had on the channel recently, but not the full team. And then you get to 2005, obviously win the Champions League final. Connor here. Are you saying this team is better than 100%? Do you know how shit the 2005 team? We had Jimmy Traore start at left back for the final. We beat AC Milan, who are the best team in the world. And Carragher, Gerrard, they'll all say, even Rafa himself will say that was definitely not the best team, 100%. But we just seemed to win a lot of big European games, which saved us. And then you fast forward to 2008-9, where this is the only real team that can compare with the team that we have now. You had a spine of Reina, Carragher, Agger, Gerrard, Alonso, Mascherano, and Torres up top. I mean, that is unbelievable. It was only really the wingers and the wing backs who couldn't really make that team world class. It was a world class spine, but the full team wasn't. And then 2014, we have that title run. Again, the spine is strong, but we've still got players like, Jose Enrique played a lot for us that season. John Flanagan played almost every game. But now it's the complete team. What we're seeing now is a team that over the last 4 to 5 years under Klopp, he's been picking away every single summer. He takes one out, puts one in to suddenly start creating what I would call his dream 11 for Liverpool. And I do think when Thiago starts and Henderson starts and all of our top men start, that is genuinely maybe the best Liverpool team ever. I mean, a lot of people talk about the 70s and 80s, 100%, bro. But when did you see a team let's talk about 2019, 20, even 18, 19, when we got 97 points. We got 99 last year. I just don't think any team in the 80s, late 80s would have matched that, to be honest. And I do think this team that we're seeing now, and we have to really savor all these moments. Every week that we see Firmino, Mane and Salah playing, we've taken it for granted a bit, mate. We have to actually sit up and really be appreciative of what we're actually witnessing. Because genuinely, when are we going to see this again?
Mate, you nailed it. You've got to appreciate it because, we've got to the point where a lot of Newcastle fans asked for Sir Bobby Robson to be sacked. And then Souness came in and since then it went downhill because you take it for granted. Like you say, your expectations get up here because we were used to Champions League nights away to Inter Milan, San Siro, Newcastle, beating Barca at home. You think, this is it. This is us forever.
This is it. This is life.
Evidence that that's not the case. Like football is forever changing. I mean, even Man United fans can relate to that right now. Being stuck where they are in the Europa League and stuff when they were at the top in Premier League was take them seeing where you are in the league as well. But
2000, I would say 2002 to I'd even go as far as saying 2005. That period there wasn't anything really between Liverpool and Newcastle. When Bobby Robson was there, and I'd say the 2002 era when you're in the Champions League, I mean, we were fighting you on the last day of the 03-04 season, do you remember, to get into the Champions League. So there really wasn't anything between us. And I think those days of Nobby Solano, Lauren Robert, Given in goal, Shearer up top, Bellamy, Genus. I'm trying to reel off some more names, but that's a great team you had there. And listen, let's not forget for 1 minute, Newcastle have got the highest ever scoring striker in this division.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not just saying it because I'm on here, bro. You know me. I'd love to see Newcastle back up there and really fighting for it. So yeah, long may our kind of dominance continue, but I would love to see Newcastle up and trying to challenge for these European spots again. It would be good for football, and I think the takeover really would have given you a big chance to do that. But we'll see what happens with that.
100%, bro. So you've got Sean saying 4-0 Liverpool. Can't see it any other way. Pretty much how I was feeling, to be fair.
See, people say this, but I mean, I said this when we played Watford away. I said, "Oh, we'll win this 3 or 4-0." You just don't know. Every single game. This is why I don't really like predicting scores, because you just look like a tit when it doesn't come in. Like every single game is so difficult. We lost 7-2 to Aston Villa, Matty. There's no way I'm going to sit here and say we're going to win this 5-0. It's just not going to happen. Not going to happen. I think you lot are being rightfully pessimistic because of your form. But on the other hand, you got to understand my thing where I thought we'd beat Aston Villa and we lost 7-2. So I cannot sit here and say we're going to win 4 or 5-0. I just can't say it because every game is so difficult.
Who's replacing Van Dijk? I don't know. At least until the end of the season, any new signs in January. Who do you think's going to be the centre backs on tomorrow night? Because obviously Matip's out now as well, isn't
he? Matip, yeah, made of crisps. I love Joel, but when you're made out of skips, like you just can't rely on someone. And I love skips as well. They fizz on your tongue. They're great. That's what Joel Matip does. He just fizzles away after 70 minutes of a game. Who's going to be the centre back? I mean, 99% of Liverpool fans want us to buy a new one in January, but I guarantee Klopp won't do it. I guarantee he won't do it. He's that kind of manager that will stand by his decision even if it kills him. And I think luckily last season everyone was saying, "Oh, you need to buy players." We won the league, and I think now because of the injuries, he's almost forced into buying someone. But I can't see it, bro. Not in January anyway. And I'll tell you why. Every club that has a decent centre back right now, Bayern Munich have got Alaba. I know he could leave on a free, but every centre back that we've looked at in January, they're going to go, "Right, you want our centre back, right? He's actually worth 20 million, but we're going to charge you 50. And we're just not going to pay that. We're not going to pay that. And Carragher said it on Sky perfectly after the game on Saturday or Sunday, whenever it was. He said, Liverpool need a centre-back. They desperately need one. If we think that having Reece Williams and Nat Phillips as backup will win us the league, I'm sorry, but we're overly complacent if we think that's going to win us the league. So we have to buy a centre-back. I just can't see us doing it. So if I accept that decision, I mean, Van Dijk, he's in training already. I don't think he's out for the season, to be honest, but I do think we'll see him kind of end of January, start of February. Because Klopp never really put a time frame on it at the start. So everyone thought, "Oh, he's out for the season." But I wouldn't be surprised if we see him play quite a big part in the Champions League run. Matip, you just can't rely on. He's got to be sold, unfortunately. Him and Keita have to be sold in the summer. Sad to say it, but they have to. We just can't rely on these players. So it looks like, I mean, Fabinho has probably been one of the best centre-backs in the league this season. So he's going to have to stay there, unfortunately, until Gomez or Van Dijk comes back. But then it's just Nat Phillips or Reece Williams. It's simple as that. Now, when Van Dijk plays alongside you, you see how well Joe Gomez performed. You see how well Reece Williams performed in the Champions League. Take him out and put Fabinho in. Yes, he's playing brilliant at the minute, but he's a centre midfielder. So I just don't see the same leadership skills for him to pass on to a Reece Williams or a Nat Phillips to say, tuck in. Because Van Dijk was so loud. That's just what he did. He was the captain of the defence, basically. So you just can't replace Van Dijk. It's impossible. But you've just really got to back Phillips and Williams. You have to, because what else have we got, man? I mean, I can't be seeing Hendo playing back there much longer. He has to play in the middle. He starts everything off. And I think that was one of the reasons why we drew at Fulham, was because Matic came off and Hendo had to go into centre back. But listen, Reece Williams and Nat Phillips have been great. But I mean, we need a new centre back, bro. It's frustrating to know that we're not going to buy one though.
Well, I just want to quickly touch on left back, because Liverpool will link with our left back, who we signed in the summer, £15 million, young Jamal Lewis, Northern Ireland international from Norwich. We had high hopes of him. I was buzzing with that signing. A lot of Newcastle fans were. Failed to really deliver so far.
Yeah.
He looks dangerous going forward sometimes, but his positioning, mate, is horrendous. His defensive awareness is terrible. He just drifts inside all the time. He gives the winger way too much time and space. His tackling isn't great. He's been bruised. He's been absolutely bruised. Cabbage head has got it well a hold of him. I think if he had went to Liverpool, obviously Klopp would have been looking to turn him into the next Robertson. Even halfway there would be good, because at the minute he doesn't look good enough. I mean, when you were linked with him, did you think that would be a good signing?
At the time, I can't lie to you, I did think it would be a good signing. It's a weird one. We were linked with the likes of Werner, Jamal Lewis, even Adama Traore. Didn't buy any of them, and you kind of look at it now and go, "Thank Christ we didn't buy any of them," because they've all had stinkers this season. Really, Jamal Lewis. I remember I was at the Norwich game when we won 1-0 back in early February, I think it was, and Jamal Lewis had a really good game. And at the time, obviously, no one's here to replace Robertson, but you do need someone who's going to be happy enough to sit on the bench for 75% of the season. And obviously, we got Tsimikas in the end. Now, he's been ravaged with injury. I think he's maybe played 3 games, hasn't looked the best in any of them. And that has meant that, James Milner's had to fill in at left back, which isn't ideal. But yeah, I'm quite glad that we missed the bullet with that one. Listen, he's still very young, right? So he could still turn into some player. Will he do that at Newcastle under Steve Bruce? Probably not.
Yeah, no. So even if we had, I don't want to keep on going on about it, but if we still had Rafa, we still had a half decent coach, you'd get the best out.
He'd be a different player under Rafa, 100%.
Yeah, if he went to even Southampton, Hasenhüttl or something, he would progress his career. But everyone's going backwards under Bruce. Jason here says Liverpool don't need to worry who's missing. They could play their next team and would still sit back and get thrashed.
I mean, listen,
yes, David. I think he's a Newcastle fan. He's been here before. Yeah, laughing face at the end probably suggests he's taking the piss. We will win them. Right, then,
I can understand the negative thoughts. I can understand it, but there's one thing that I've learned this season, and it's do not be complacent. We just can't afford to be. I think. All the games that I mentioned to you, Brighton, Fulham, and West Brom. Of course, I predicted that we were going to win all those games. Of course, I did, but we didn't. So it's a lesson to myself. There's other fans, Liverpool fans, who will come on here and be like, "Yeah, we're going to win 4-0, lad. Newcastle are shite. 2-0 off in 15 minutes. The game will be over." And I could say that, but I've learned too many times to not say that shit this season. So I definitely don't think it will be a 4 or 5-0. It will be a lot closer than that, I think.
Well, hopefully you're right. I mean, to be fair, everyone thought it was going to be a cricket score at the Etihad, me included. I said 5-0, and it was only 2. But at the end of the day, it's
but sometimes, Matty, when you yes, it was 2-0, but you did absolutely nothing in that game. Would you have preferred to have just been bashed 4 or 5-0 and actually had a go? Because 100%. That 2-0, it's quite flattering sometimes when really under the 2-0 scoreline, it's like Carragher's mentioned it so many times, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why Brucey will love that, because someone will just look at the full-time results and go, 2-0 away. Man City, not bad. It's not good enough for fans, is it? We don't watch a game of football for 90 minutes to hope we only get beat by 2 goals. We never look like scoring once in that game. You'd rather have the Bielsa tactic of going all out, being entertained, and not knowing what's going to happen, and get beat 4-2. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather get beat 4-2 than 2-0. So, but that won't happen, mate. I think I'll make my score prediction now. I think it'll be 3-0 Liverpool. It'll be the case of putting everyone behind the ball for Newcastle, maybe getting into half-time and only 1-0 down, and then inevitably collapsing in the last 20 minutes. And if he doesn't start, the likes of Salah, bring him off the bench. Easy couple of goals, walk in the park, because Brucey will do the forfeit. Brucey does the forfeit, throw the towel in before every top 4 team. He kind of get his head around competing at all with any top team, so you'll just think there's no chance. The players will be no motivation, and we'll just go. I mean, look what happened. We got gifted a 1-0 lead against Liverpool last time we played them after lockdown at St James's Park. Dwight Gale after 20-30 seconds, and then it was a case of the naivety to think that you can sit back for 89 minutes.
You can't do that.
You kind of think that. Look what even Mourinho did it at Wolves the other day. Like it's gonna happen. It's when, not if. So you get given that. Try and build on it. Even if you get 2-0 up, then you can think, right, well, we'll take a 2-2 here, even if they come back. You know.
You know what? I think you guys and it definitely comes from the manager. You just have to have more belief. Like if you do go 1 up, even 2, God forbid you went 2-0 up yesterday. I don't know if you would be able to handle it. I don't know if you'd be able to, because I think 2-0 is the worst scoreline to kind of have in many ways, because it's just a momentum game. If the next goal when it's 2-0 is so important, it's either 3-0 or 2-1, and genuinely when it's 2-1, it does end up as 2-2. So I just think Newcastle don't have the experience of being up in a game and seeing it out. You kind of, whatever the first 15, let's just say you score 2 in the first 15 tomorrow, your tactics won't change for the whole game. And that's where you do have to look at the manager and think, is he for us? Like, has he taken his team as far as he can take it?
No, it's taking it backwards, mate. But I'll let you quickly give a score prediction then before we go.
3-1 Liverpool. I do think it will be tight. I can see Newcastle scoring. We have conceded a lot more goals this season than we did last season. Listen, without Van Dijk and Gomez, we're always more susceptible to concede. I'm quite happy St. Maximan's not around, to be honest, because he's one player that I've seen can give us the run around. He's got pace in abundance. The midfield, I think Longstaff started his career so well, or both of them, both Longstaffs started so well, and they've kind of faded off a little bit. I saw a video of you saying we should have sold Longstaff to United for 40 million when we had the chance or something. I was laughing at that, but I'm going to go 3-1, bro. I'm going to go 3-1.
3-1. Lots of 3-1s coming in, yeah. Please no. All right. Can't be dealing with that.
No way.
Right. Well, thanks very much for joining me. It's been a pleasure speaking to you again, and hopefully things get back to normal in the new year. We can be up for a pint, whether it be in Newcastle, Liverpool, or Tenerife. Either way.
You go. 3 of the best places in the world, eh?
It's actually the top 3 on TripAdvisor. So Newcastle being first, obviously the only thing we've ever been top of, by the way. Right. Cheers, everyone. Subscribe to my channel TV. Head over and subscribe to the Kop TV and enjoy yourselves.
Take care.